It's First Lady here, and today I am in the kitchen and I am cooking my famous spaghetti and meatballs. And you may remember that I did a video where I made these meatballs and I made them fresh and I just froze them. So I am ready to cook these meatballs. So if you want to know how I cook these meatballs, how I actually made them up, watch that video. But now we're going to go ahead and cook these and put them in spaghetti and meatballs. So let's go ahead and get started in the kitchen. Okay, we are getting started in the kitchen and I'm taking these meatballs and I'm just going to line them up on this cooking pan here. And remember, we made several of them, so we know that we'll have plenty when we get ready to put them inside our meat sauce. So this made 12 really nice sized meatballs. So I'm just going to cover them with some foil, if you can see that. And they're just going to go in the oven covered. And so while they are cooking, then I'm going to work on this meat sauce. So now we've got that in the oven. So now you can see I have my water boiling already, getting ready for my spaghetti. And I have already put 1 jar of meat sauce. I put a can of tomatoes in the pot here. And this is my Dutch oven, one of my favorites. It's getting so worn, but it is my favorite because it cooks so well. So I'm just going to use some jarred meat sauce here. And you just choose your favorite meat sauce, spaghetti sauce, or marinara sauce that you like, because this is what I get from Aldi. And it's really, really good. It's tomatoey and it's got a lot of the different spices in there. But I'm going to add a few more of the Italian spices. But the first thing that I want to do is I want to add these vegetables. So I have cut up some onion and bell pepper here. So I'm just going to get them into this sauce. And this is kind of one of those sauces that it's going to sort of taste like you've been cooking it all day. And once I put all the vegetables in, it's going to simmer. So let me just stir them in, because you know you want to add fresh elements to the sauce, right? And that will make it taste like you made it all homemade and nobody will know the difference. And the other thing that I like to add is just another fresh element. These are some tomatoes and I just sort of quartered them and they're going to go right in. So all of these are going to go right into this sauce. And that is that. And so then once I do that, I'm going to add some more Italian flavor. So I'm going to add some Italian herb, and you can see as I am adding these Italian herbs, and it's got all the different Italian seasonings in it. So it's got oregano and basil and all those good flavors that you want for your spaghetti and marinara sauce. All right, so a little of that and a little onion powder will go in. Of course, always a little garlic powder. And a little bit more Italian seasoning. And I'll just, wow, you can smell the basil in there, oregano. So now I'm just gonna stir this up and let this simmer. So now we have a really nice sauce that we are putting together for the spaghetti and meatballs. So I'm going to let this simmer. This is going to have to simmer for a good little while. All right. And probably, 45 minutes or so. Let the vegetables cook down, let them get soft, let the tomatoes get soft, but you can see how they're in here and how they give that um, homemade look to this spaghetti sauce. So the water is going to continue to boil. The meatballs are in the oven. The sauce is on. So we're just moving right along and making spaghetti and meatballs. So we'll be back. Okay, we're back and our water is boiling. I'm just going to go ahead and put the spaghetti in so that we can have these delicious spaghetti and meatballs. So I'm just going to put the spaghetti right into this pot of boiling water here. Hopefully I can get it all in here without having some stragglers. All right, so this is about a pound or so of spaghetti. And so I'm just going to let that cook. And I have the water boiling because I'm going to do some fresh corn because I have a little bit of water in the pan with a little bit of butter. So I'm just going to show you, my friend gave me some wonderful fresh vegetables from the garden. So just going to show you how I just sort of peel this and really shuck this corn is what we used to say. Shuck this corn. And it's a beautiful, gorgeous corn on the cob. And all of this is, as you sort of remove the silk, you can see how this corn is pretty much just fresh corn ready to go into the boiling water. So I'm going to just rinse these off. If you have a part that doesn't look as good, you can certainly just basically cut that part off. And if you don't want the really big ears of corn, you can break them in half, which is typically what I do because we like the little mini corn cobs. So I love corn on the cob. It's one of my favorites. And so look, we just doubled it. Now you can see that we have plenty of corn here. So now we have enough for the whole family. So I'm going to rinse these off. And as the spaghetti is boiling, I'm going to move this around, move the spaghetti around in the pot here as it comes up to a rolling boil. And we are moving right along because our meatballs, if you can see, they are pretty much ready. So we're going to get ready to pull those out and add those to our amazing sauce here. Look at that spaghetti sauce. So we are almost ready to eat, you guys. So I will be back as we put all this together. Okay, the meatballs are ready. As you can see, they have browned very nicely. I'm just putting them in this succulent spaghetti marinara sauce. And we're going to taste here in just a second once we assemble everything. So you can see that this was just some of the fat that rendered off of the meatballs because they were ground beef meatballs. So don't forget to check out that video, and I will link that video in the description just so you can watch how I made those meatballs ahead of time. And it really saved me a lot of time because, I mean, honestly, this is like a 30-minute meal. And so, you know, it doesn't take very long because I already, you know, did the meatballs ahead. So like, you know, once they were in the oven for about, you know, 40 minutes or so, you know, you're done pretty much, you know, with your family sitting down to eat in about an hour or so. So it's one of those meals that doesn't take very long to prepare. So now let me grab a plate. Now there's a couple of ways that you can do this, and a lot of people do this differently, right? Because some people like to put the spaghetti, you know, in the pot with the marinara, and that's fine. You can do that, but I'm going to sort of just treat it like it's an Italian restaurant and do it sort of Italian style. So I'm just going to add the sauce, this beautiful marinara sauce, whoops, and pour some of that over. And don't worry about it if you make a mess, because we can always clean it up, right? This is your kitchen. So I'm going to put a couple of big meatballs right there on top. And remember, this made 12 big, nice sized meatballs. So, you know, you may put 2 in, but you may not eat them all. So if I put 2 on the plate, I may not get to them all, but they are there. All right. So this is what we're doing. This is our sauce. And let's just make it a little bit prettier because we can, right? And we should, right? For our presentation here. So I'm going to just sprinkle it with a little bit of the Parmesan Romano cheese. Woo, that is going to be good. And as always, here I go, trying to try something that's very hot. But you know, I like to try it as soon as it gets done, just so you guys can see sort of the finished product and how it looks. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of freshly ground black pepper over it. And of course, I have my corn, and you can do garlic bread, all that good stuff when you make it at home. But I just wanted to show you, this is my spaghetti and meatball. So now is the time. Here we go. And I want to just start off with this sauce because I know it's good. Mmm. That is excellent. Mmm. It literally tastes like it has been cooking all day. And I promise you, it hasn't. Now for the meatball. And these should be fairly tender. Look at that meatball. Still juicy. Mmm. Mmm. I wish you could smell this as well as taste it. It smells so good in here. Mmm. This is amazing. Let me get one more bite. Mmm. I hope y'all don't get tired of me eating in front of y'all. But I wish you all were here with me in the kitchen to enjoy this amazing spaghetti and meatballs. So try this recipe and leave me a comment and let me know what you think when you make your own homemade meatballs in your spaghetti. So spaghetti and meatballs in the kitchen with First Lady. I hope you guys enjoy it. Subscribe to my channel and continue to be blessed.